Good evening. I am Sarah Alexander. I'd like to welcome everyone to our annual report to the public. We represent, the people in this room represent the Bergman School District. We are a rural school district sitting on 114 acres here in Bergman, Arkansas. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you at this time the members of the school board. We have Mr. Jason King in the room with us, Mr. Mitchell Archer, Mr. DJ Collins, Pastor Billy Edgar, and our president, Mr. Jason Ponder. This evening it is my honor to welcome you and tell you just a little bit about our district. Today we have 1,056 students in kindergarten through 12th grade. We also have an additional 82 students in pre-K that belong to us. They are in the preschool that is offered by the OUR Co-op that is housed here on our campus. We're very glad to have them and glad to have them as a part of our team. We have 160 employees. 89 of those are certified employees. That's counselors, teachers, and administrators. We also have 71 members of our support staff. Those include nurses, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, secretaries, custodians, maintenance and grounds people, tech support, which is here tonight helping us with the filming of the meeting, paraprofessionals, and very important bookkeepers. Tonight we'll be telling you a little bit about our story through our nurses report. Our entire nursing team is here with us this evening. Miss Jamie Taylor, Miss Lois Rucker, and Miss Erin Berry. We'll also be hearing reports on some federal funding from myself with ARP benefits, not ARP benefits. Miss Debbie Atkinson with the other federal and state categorical funds. And then our principals will take a few minutes and they'll give us an update on a little bit on what they're doing in their buildings to help learning improve here for the Bergman students. At this time, we'd like to kick off with our nursing report from Miss Jamie Taylor.
So yes, we are here. I have Erin with me. She's going to give the elementary data. All of this data is from last school year, and we're required annually by the state of Arkansas to give our annual health report. So I want to start off by saying we thank Bergman School. To be a nurse at Bergman is truly a blessing. We have talked with many school nurses at other districts, and they do not have the support that we do here at Bergman. So with last year, we were so thankful for all of the teachers' help with minor nursing needs for students. They managed many things in the classroom. The system that we set in place of having teachers call the nurse before sending students worked very well. We had an area for students to wait outside of the middle school office. That was a big help. This allowed for better social distancing between sick and well students. The isolation room that we had in the nurse's office was used in abundance. Not only was it used for children not feeling well, but also for students who needed a quiet place to rest, talk, or de-stress. We had plenty of supplies that we needed thanks to administration. The overall nurse office space we have at Bergman is also a blessing. Even though the nurse's office was strictly designated for 6 students last year, I feel the teachers did an amazing job sending students that needed nursing evaluation for possible problems at home or with their peers. And because of this help from the teachers, we had more time with each individual student, which allowed for an adequate assessment of his or her needs. As most of us had never been through a pandemic, we feel that we succeeded as a team in meeting the challenges of many unknowns. So I just want to give you some quick numbers. This won't take just a few minutes. We had last school year 2,939 office visits, students coming into the nurse's office. We had 6 911 emergency calls. We had 9 students in middle and high school that had a healthcare or emergency action plan from their doctor. We had 10 students that took prescription medicine, either long or short term. We had 17 students that we sent to the doctor or emergency room due to a school injury. We had 20 students that had an immunization exemption and 74 students that were non-compliant in their immunizations. We also love and enjoy taking care of our staff at Bergman, and so we had 70 staff encounters, and that would include something like a blood pressure check or workman's comp, injections, education. We even have to call 911 for our staff, rarely, but that is included. Those numbers that did not include our COVID encounters that we had. So also, I want to give you information on what happens with the student when they come to our office. So I gave you the number of 2,939 office visits, and out of those, we sent 2,125 kids back to class. So it's beneficial to have a school nurse so that we can get those kids back to class. We sent 370 of them home, and then we also sent 43 to the doctor. An overview of the diagnosis and special needs that we take care of at school. This is just a general overview, not everything, but it can range from tube feedings. We did multiple COVID assessments. We have students with life-threatening allergies, substance abuse, asthma, deaf or hearing impaired, mental health disorders, ADD and ADHD, and also deal with medical emergencies. We have students, so in last year we had 321 students in middle school with a medical alert, and we had 305 students in high school with a medical alert. And if you think about your enrollment numbers, almost every student that's enrolled has some sort of medical alert, or they may have more than one. So lots of kids these days, unfortunately, have medical issues that we deal with. It can range from they wear glasses to they carry an EpiPen for a life-threatening emergency. Okay, a few more things. On our screenings, we screened 191 students for BMI as a state requirement. That's 6th, 8th, and 10th grade for middle and high school. With 6th and 8th grade combined, 45 students were obese, and in 10th grade, 7 students were considered obese according to the guidelines. With our hearing and vision data, campus-wide, elementary, middle, and high school, we collected $5,896.54 in Medicaid funds for the hearing and vision screenings. We had 9 students who received treatment and glasses, lenses for a failed vision screening. We had 30 students at the end of school year that were still pending an eye exam. The COVID-19 pandemic really threw that off because we couldn't get students in to be seen. And then we had 4 students who received treatment from a failed hearing screening. The other tasks we dealt with last year were, we had our Mass Flu Clinic where we vaccinated 249 students and staff combined. We trained 23 staff or community or preschool teachers in CPR, first aid, and AED. We did a Stop the Bleed training refresher course to all staff members. We did a lot of training and education on COVID-19. We were able to do CPR training to all of our senior students for their graduation requirement. And finally, the challenges were navigating the COVID-19 pandemic. We also had challenges with students and their vaccines. They weren't able to get up to date on those because of the pandemic. And then vaping was an issue that we dealt with a lot last year. So, if there aren't any questions, we'll let Ms. Erin give her data.
I would just like to echo what Jamie said. It's been such a blessing to be in the Bergman School District, and thank you so much for your support in so many different ways. Just a few numbers that are regarding the elementary, so K through 4. We had a total number of 2,784 encounters. The number of interventions or the tasks performed to care for these students totaled 6,079. There were 1,587 parental contacts, and that was increased from prior year, mostly related to the pandemic. There were 0 911 calls in the elementary. 5 students were sent to the emergency department or to see a doctor urgently for an injury at school. There were 112 minor injuries on the playground, with 33 injuries elsewhere during PE or in a classroom setting. 254 students were sent home out of that total number, and 32 students were referred to a doctor overall. Again, as Jamie said, we love to care for our staff here at Bergman. In the elementary, we had 68 staff encounters last year. Of the total student population, we had 299 medical alerts, with some of those more prominent alerts including 28 asthma, 5 seizure disorders, 2 life-threatening allergies, 54 ADD or ADHD diagnosis, 8 other mental health diagnoses, and 74 non-life-threatening allergies, 10 autism diagnoses. As far as medications are concerned, we had 8 students who were receiving routine daily meds, with 7 other students with PRN meds on hand as needed. Our screenings in the elementary, K through 4, for BMI, we screened 333 students. For vision, we screened 474 students and referred 42 of those to an eye doctor for evaluation and treatment. And for hearing, we screened 474 students and referred 2 of those to a doctor for evaluation and treatment. And that concludes my report. You guys have any questions? Thank you so much.
I do have a question.
Yes?
Scoliosis screenings, like the problem that Harrison had, we don't do those anything like that, do we?
Okay. Well, what do you mean? I didn't
Do
do
we
my
keep,
scoliosis
I mean,
data.
do we keep the parents in the loop on when that's gonna happen and,
Yes.
and it's not without permission and we don't have any issues in that category, is that correct?
We have not had any issues.
Okay.
We do send a letter home before we do it, so the parents are aware, and it has all of the information of what we ask of the students when they're there. We send that home, and then we talk to the kids before we do the screenings. I'm the one who does it.
We do that in-house, that's
Do it
not a consultant that
Yeah,
comes in.
well, Nurse Lois and I,
Okay.
used to be Nurse Redmond and I, but we do it all here, and the kids all know us, and if they're not comfortable, if the parents aren't comfortable, we don't do the screening, we just notify the parent.
Certainly appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you, we appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
At this time, we'll hear from Ms. Mitzi Cantrell, our district testing coordinator, who will go over yearly scores. While he's looking that up, do you take our lead? Okay, I'm Mitzi Cantrell, and I appreciate the opportunity to present the scores. Your teachers have really worked hard, and it's paid off. What we have in front of you is the curriculum and ACT Aspire scores. And I'm a hard copy person, and you have a highlighter, and I want to go over everything in detail, so everybody gets the credit that they do deserve. So let's start with 3rd grade. It's up here behind me. 3rd grade started off in English at a 13, in math a 3, science a 4, reading is at 10, English language arts is 9, and STEM is 3. And while the 13 may seem a little low, and this is in comparison with everybody in our co-op area, they were above state average.
We'll go on to 4th grade. And if I'm going too fast, just tell me to slow down, because I've looked at this data quite a bit and it gets rhythmic. So grade 4 standings in the co-op area, English is 3, math is 3, science is 3, reading is 4, English, I'll just do ELA, 5, and STEM is 3. So pretty strong scores in the 4th grade, which is now 5th grade. Moving along. 5th grade rankings. English is 2nd, math is 9th, science is 3rd, reading is 8, ELA is 6, and STEM is 12. Any questions at this point? Moving on to grade 6. English is 6th in the co-op area. Math is 2nd in the co-op area. And I'm going to have to give a shout out. It was 1st, and then they did at Harrison's, they split Harrison's schools up, but when they combined Harrison schools, Bergman was 1. But when they broke it down, I think it was Skyline, no, it was Kingston. So that you've got the Harrison issue, and then you have the Kingston. When the data came out, I think they had less than 10, so that wasn't specific. But still a very strong score, 61.8%. Science is 4, reading is 5, ELA is 2, and STEM is 7. And we've got another set of strong scores, grade 7. English is 4, math is 4, science is 2, reading is 3, ELA is 1, and STEM is 5. And Miss A, if you could kind of help me with this. I didn't really understand why English and reading could be a 4 and a 3, and then we get 1st in English language arts, but it's specific questions that are pulled.
Yes.
And that's where you get the ranking. All right, grade 8. English is 2, math is 4, science is 4, reading is 4, ELA is 2, and STEM is 6. And I think these scores are phenomenal in our co-op area.
Are these the scores from the year of the pandemic? I mean,
Yes,
is this the
after
testing?
the
Last year's scores.
This reflects what last year's scores was. Okay.
The COVID year we didn't test. This is the last test we took, which was last year.
Okay.
So this is after COVID pandemic.
Okay, that's what I was wanting to know.
Yes. And then grade 9 is excellent. English is 3, math is 4, science is 3, reading is 3, ELA is 3, and STEM is 3. Strong scores. And then we go to 10th grade. English is 4th, math is 3rd, science is 6th, reading is 1st, and that's a celebration. ELA is 4th, and STEM is 5th. And again, this is against everybody in the co-op area. Our averages are better than the state averages, and I've got that data for you on the back of this, but I'm not going to go into detail with it, but I want you to have it. Ms. A said you like to see how we compare against our area schools, so that's the data that we're showing. And then the next piece of paper, or the next piece of information that I find very important, because it has to do with our money. It's the reading in need of support. And you'll hear that a lot, the term in need of support. The principals, the teachers, they get the data, they look at the kids that are showing in need of support, and there's strong interventions in place. And that's where we have money to close the gap, to close the COVID gap, to close the summer gaps. So you can see that Bergman is at 23% district-wide. The state average is 38% in need of support. So we're well under. But we have to watch this data, because if you get at 40%, then the state decides they're going to collaborate with you on how to best spend your money. And if you get at 50%, they say, you know, we're going to spend your money, because they want those learning gaps closed. We want the students that are in need of support to be able to come up and at least get to the close, if not ready. And then the last 2 pages are the data that shows against the state average. But honestly, I think the comparison in the co-op is a better picture, but I wanted you to have that data. So the last 2 pages are our scores in exceeding, ready, close, and need of support in each grade. And then what the state average is. So overall, very strong scores, very respectable. And then I'm proud of our teachers. I'm proud of our admin. Do you have any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, I can go ahead and shut this down now.
So while our scores are very high, when you look at, you compare us to the rest of the state and you compare us to the rest of the co-op, we still do have students who struggle, who are not where we want them to be. In reality, what we want is we want everybody to be on grade level in reading, writing, and math before they leave the 8th grade. If they can get to that point, high school will be a totally different experience for them. Post-high school and you know, whether they go to college or whether they go to the workplace will be a totally different experience for them if they're on grade level in reading, writing, and math. So that's what we're shooting for. One of the different funding mechanisms that came to our school as well as to the other schools in the state and in the nation this year was ARP money. That ARP stands for American Rescue Plan. It's also called ESSER 3. That's the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Plan. This money is designed to help prevent COVID and to deal with the effects of COVID. Our school has been fortunate in that we have been able to do some things with this money that, quite frankly, would have been very difficult for us to do without it. One of the 3 things that you can do with it is you can try to create a safe and healthy learning environment. One of the ways, some of the ways that we're planning to use the money, some of the ways that we've already used the money, we would like to improve our HVAC units, to try to improve the circulation of air in the classrooms. One of the things that we're looking at that I'm hoping to get the board to okay this evening is to replace 2 of the dishwashers in our high school cafeteria. That cafeteria serves preschool and 5th through 12th grade every day and has done that for 16 years. And we would like to take this opportunity to upgrade those units to try to make sure that we are putting food on clean plates. To try to make us healthier. Another thing that that's a possibility of us looking at is remodeling what we call the old ag building. It is a fairly large space that we could have class in, and we're seeing the potential there to remodel with this money and move students into a bigger space to give them more social distancing room. Another thing is transportation. We have already ordered 1 new replacement school bus with air conditioning on it. I think the drivers will probably have to arm wrestle to see who gets it. But improving ventilation, even on the school buses, is something that's an allowable expense with this money. We're waiting to see how the money holds out and hoping that that's a possibility again for us next year. In systemic procedures, we've used money for cleaning supplies. We've used it for hand sanitizer. We used it for gowns for the nurses and masks for the nurses and masks for our students and our staff. We've used it for the small air purifiers that are in every classroom. We've been able to use it to improve our communication on buses and improve our communication on campus. Through radios, signs, and cameras. Second big way that you can use this money is addressing loss instructional time and loss of learning. We have purchased upgraded curriculum for reading, which was a very expensive thing, but something that I feel like we really needed. It had been a long time since that information had been updated. We've done that kindergarten through 8th grade so far. I think the elementary has also looked at upgrading some math curriculum. All 3 schools, I think, will probably at some time over the past 6 months and the next probably year and a half will be involved in tutoring of some sort. That's also an expense that can be covered by this money. Summer school was something that we were involved more heavily in last year than we've ever been involved in to try to get kids caught up. And that's another allowable expenditure. The last section, the last big area that we can spend this money in is supporting educator and staff stability and well-being. We have used a good portion of our CARES money, which was ESSER 1 and our CARES 2 money. Not so much, I'm thankful, for ESSER 3 because we haven't had as many staff members who have had to be out because of COVID. But COVID leave is something that's an allowable expense with this money, and we have used that. Also technology. Technology for students and staff to be able to make learning happen from the classroom or from home. We've made purchases of hotspots, Chromebooks, devices for teachers and students, and we'll continue to make those purchases as they're needed. At this time, Ms. Debbie Atkinson is going to come and talk with us about our other federal programs and our categorical funds.
Title I, we have $197,854.84 to budget, and of that money, $151,936.50 goes to salaries for parapros, an instructional facilitator in the elementary. The remaining money is divided between the buildings that each building purchases Chromebooks, reading manipulatives, reading materials, math manipulatives, science, anything to address our core areas. The Title I money is allowed to be spent on. 2A is for professional development, and you can see the allocation there, and we just take the money for that and we divide it between the 3 buildings. That money is allowed to be used for any professional development that's above and beyond what the state requires. At the bottom you can see there's another PD budget, and that money is for anything that the state requires so many hours, and then each area, there's certain, like high school has things that they're required that they have to be trained in. So this is the funding that we use for things that are required. We can't use the other money for anything required. The ESSA budget, $326,441. Of that, you can see salaries is $176,539, and then the remainder again is divided between middle school, high school, and elementary. And there's more flexibility with this money. We can purchase lots of things that for our kids, our teachers, our buildings. And then at the bottom, I have listed the ALE budget, and this is kind of not as broke out as much because you can see our allocation was only $29,683, so we had to transfer some money out of some of the other areas to cover the salaries. The $103,352, all of that except $1,000 is salaries for ALE. And the $1,000 we have given the middle school ALE teacher $500 for supplies, and the high school ALE teacher $500 for supplies. The rest of that money is salaries for ALE. Any questions on any of that?
Thank you.
I would do that. Next, I didn't bring my sheet.
So Ms. A asked us to share with you the things, all the money that I just shared with you that we get for our buildings, what we have done to address the loss of learning for our students. And in elementary, we've taken advantage, like Ms. A said, of some of the art funds, and we really appreciate the new reading curriculum. I think that is gonna be a huge blessing for our students and for our teachers to have that curriculum to follow. We have also purchased a program called Lexia Core Reading, and we're using that during our intervention time. I can't say much about it because we just started using it a couple weeks ago, but everyone that has used it in the past has shared with us how good it is and the great benefits that the kids receive from it, so we're hoping for good things from that. We have, again, like we've talked in the past, a 30-minute, last year we took the intervention time out of our schedule because we were not mixing our students. We were keeping our kids in their own classrooms with their teacher. And so this year we have started back with what we call our STAR time, which is 30 minutes every day. Every grade level has a block of time that our kids are getting the interventions that have been addressed through the assessments that they have taken. Dibbles is an assessment that we have used the money to purchase. We have updated our math curriculum. The air purifiers in the classroom, we're thankful for those, that we got to purchase those. I think teachers and everyone feels better since air quality seems to be the big thing, and in our building we can't open windows. So our air quality is not great, so I think the air purifiers help with that. On the Wednesdays that we get out early, which we appreciate that time, Miss A has talked to us, and that we are targeting, our teachers are identifying our students that have the greatest need academically, socially, emotionally, attendance issues, and we're identifying those students, and then we're making plans. What are we doing for those students? You know, a lot of times we just talk about the students who don't come to school a lot, or we worry about them, or wonder why they're not here, but we're identifying them, and then what are we doing about it? So we're taking that, and we're using that time on Wednesdays to do that. We have 80 students in elementary that have asked for food bags. So weekly, with the help of Ms. Curtis's church and CCM and lots of other people that have just donated money for us to buy food and different things, we send food bags home with 80 students just in the elementary. We have several that have asked for help already at Thanksgiving, several at Christmas. We've provided clothes and shoes to numerous students. Seems like a lot more than we have in the past. Donations, we were able to give every student that wanted one a backpack at the beginning of the year, and that was so awesome. We just had them laid out, and they were really neat backpacks. They weren't just boring old backpacks. So the kids, you know, if you remember elementary or when your kids were in elementary, getting to choose a backpack's a big thing. So we were really thankful that we got to do that for them. We're doing a shoe drive. If anybody has any extra gently used shoes that you'd like to send to school, we have purchased water bottles for all of our students. Water fountains has not been denied, but we're encouraging them to use their own water bottle, so we purchased those. We have ordered more of the bottle filling stations for our water fountains to be put in our PE area and all the areas where we have water fountains, except in the classrooms, so they won't go there. With the money that we received, we have a Chromebook for every student. Kindergarten through 4th grade has their own Chromebook. So in the past we've had iPads for our littler ones, but since the requirement for typing, and I know middle school wants them to become a little better prepared for being able to use that, so we're starting in kindergarten on a Chromebook and with the typing program in the computer lab, so we're hoping that will help. We have opened our building back up. We're allowing parents to come in the office and check kids out now. We're going to get to do a fall festival, thanks to Miss A. We're going to do a modified version of one in November, spread out and do that. Just teachers are very concerned about our kids. A lot of them stayed home last year, and not a lot did, but it was just hard on our kids, and they're very behind. So we are concerned, but they're working so hard, and I just couldn't ask for a better staff or a better boss. If you don't know that this is Bosses Week, and I know we appreciate Miss A so much, and that you guys had the confidence to give her the position, because I feel like she's making great decisions for our school and for our kids and our teachers, and I just thank you very much. Any questions for elementary?
Thank you.
The elementary school here at Bergman is represented by kindergarten through 4th grade. Our middle school principal, Mr. Keys, is coming. He has 5th through 8th grade.
Everything Debbie said and more, Miss Atkinson said and more, but between her and Miss A so far, they've covered a lot. But we were able to purchase the new English curriculum, which our teachers are excited about. One piece they're really excited about is there's a digital piece where the kids can go home when they have a Chromebook or on their computer at home and work from there and not have to print out papers, send books home, whatever. They can go to that digital piece and work on that. New technology, Chromebooks. Mr. Hammonds has worked hard to keep me straight on that, because it's been seems like every day there's something else or something new coming out or needing an update or something, and we keep him busy and all that. So we've been able to purchase Chromebooks in the curriculum. In the middle school as well, we have the air purifiers, water bottle filling stations. That's been a big thing. This year I did not purchase water bottles, but I have kids who have brought their own that, whatever they're comfortable with, we'll let them use and go from there. A couple of things that are new to us, and this is kind of jumping around, but Miss Jeannie Olson filled out a grant for us to have a fresh fruit program in the middle school, and we were accepted to that. And so every day, and Miss Atkinson too, but I said it and she didn't. So, but anyway, every day there's stations set up in the hallway that have buckets, and we either have bagged apples, peaches. I want to say we've had plums. I don't know what all we've had, but there's been 4 or 5 things that we've had, and students can walk by and grab, and there's a sign beside it that tells a little information about it, the nutritional facts and stuff like that. That's been helpful. One thing that we did purchase last year, I believe it was last year, was the food sealer, which the digital kids and the kids that are quarantined, occasionally we have parents say, can they still come get lunch? We'll seal up some lunch. They can come up to the middle school. We'll walk it out to them. If they're uncomfortable, we can set it on the porch. They can come in and get it, come up and get it and load it themselves and stuff like that. But that has been really helpful. We still do have a few families left that do call, and every week we send them home food in sealed containers. Just that's been really helpful with that. Food bags as well, our numbers, I do not have our total numbers, but our numbers have gone up just a little bit with kids and parents requesting food bags for students this year. Some other things that we've spent money on that's been really helpful in my opinion, and if you've never been around students like this, you might not understand. I'll try to explain it a little bit. We bought some headphones and earmuffs type things for some special ed students. That loud noises, they can't handle those. 2 of my special ed students were able to sit through the pep rally the other day with their earmuffs on. Did they hear anything that happened? I don't know, but they had a good time. They had the earmuffs on. The loud noises didn't bother them. When the teacher knows a fire drill or something like that's coming up, they'll slide over close to their desk, give them those earmuffs, they'll put them on. The fire alarm goes off, doesn't faze them, we'll just walk out. If they don't have those on and a loud noise happens, good, you know, it's rodeo time, for instance, if they just don't like the loud noise, that bothers them. So we've been able to purchase those as well with this. And audiobooks have been a big help for special education students. It helps them follow along and read along in a book as somebody else is reading the book to them. Lost learning, another way that we are doing things, and I have to puff my chest out a little bit here because in the beginning of school in August, I went into in-service and told my teachers, this is what I would like for you to do. Every third week of the 9 weeks, every 5 weeks of the 9 weeks, and every 7 weeks of the 9 weeks, call out every student with your team, 7th grade team, 8th grade team, 5th grade team, 6th grade team, call out every student and just talk about them a minute or less. So we're not just talking about, well, Johnny's failing, he needs this, that. Hey, she's doing great. She made 100 on this test. She made a 90% here. And in the past, I think we got in a little routine of only talking about the kids that need more attention. So this way, every student, so I walk into a couple of team meetings, and some of them, one team meeting, it was, she's great, he's great, and others, it was, this is where we need help. And when you bring in all the teachers on that team with band, music, PE, all that in that team, you get things like, well, they're struggling in science, but man, they can really play an instrument in band, or they can do this. Let me see if I can help you in science by helping them with music stuff. And so it was really nice. My teachers picked right up on it, and they've been doing it. I haven't made it to every team meeting, but that's my goal. And the next round of meetings is to meet with the teams that I have not been with, but that has been very helpful. Lost learning is a tough one. We give them a Chromebook when they're quarantined or not at school, and hope for the best with them completing the work. Some can do it. Some need a teacher there to help them. Our teachers are available to email, talk on the phone, whatever. But we do appreciate the opportunity to buy the new curriculum that does have that digital piece with them. Any questions for middle school? I have a great staff. They've worked really hard through all this. And I can only speak for mine. I can't speak for Miss Curtis or Miss Atkinson, but this fall break came at the right time for my teachers. We appreciate you still allowing us to do that, because we just needed a little break, step away for a little bit, and it's great that it came at the end of the 9 weeks, so when we come back, we're starting fresh with lots of things. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
And last but certainly not least, Miss Amy Curtis is coming to represent the high school, our 9th through 12th grade students.
Hello, my name is Amy Curtis. I'm the high school principal here at Bergman. I have a lot to say that Debbie and Jason have previously stated. We have spent our ESSER money in similar ways. We are starting a 4-day tutoring session after school starting on Tuesday, and we have teachers that are going to be able to give science, English, math, and just kind of an overall study area for our students. We have air purifiers in our classrooms. We have been able to hand out hotspots, and we have also had the air purifiers that y'all have approved, and we thank you very much for that. With our ESSER, or with our ESA money, we have focused on building literacy in our literacy classrooms, classroom libraries, much like the middle school has had, and we're trying to get those built up for students to be able to grab a book really quick off the shelf and then head out the door. I have given you a list of our head count statistics. We have a total of 307 students in our high school. We have 25 student activities currently. We have 32 core courses offered. Quantitative literacy is a new course that we've offered in 12th grade. In fact, Ms. Mailer's here tonight. She teaches it. And it focuses on the banking side, personal loans, all of those things, taxes, the kind of real life math that those students will need. In her quantitative literacy, it's kind of misleading the name of it, but it actually is a math class, so it's been good so far. We have another new class this year. It's Case Animal Science. Mr. Simmons is teaching that. It's a 5-point class, similar to an AP class. It gives credit in Agri and in science, and we have, I think, around 10 students in that working on those courses as well. I had to write in too, we brought computer science and robotics back in our courses. Computer science, if you take it as a junior or senior level, that also counts as, it can count as your 4th year math, so those can be dual credits. We offer 31 courses within our fine arts and our CTE courses available. We have a new pathway in business. It's our banking pathway. Mr. Quattlebaum has been an excellent source or resource for us. We have partnered with ANSTAFF. They have purchased our banking curriculum for us. We have partnered with Kiwanis. They have given money to help buy our tellering stations. And so we are focusing on banking because we know in Boone County we have plenty of banks. So we're trying to tap into that side for our students so they can have another career pathway. When those get up and running, we are going to have his business or his banking class help count money just as a tellering station would, receiving money, depositing money, so they can get used to handling it, counting it, of course with supervision. And then how those banking processes work, how finances work even at school is a good tool for our students. So we're very excited about that. We have given our high school a little bit of a facelift. Last year we heard a lot of feedback that we kind of needed to, from our community. The gym needed to be painted and those things. So my custodians this summer worked really hard and painted our hallways, the gym lobby, and the gym. We put some large stickers up with the Bergman Bee in the gym. We had one in the hallway, but it kind of fell, so we're working on that one. But we've improved the baseball field. I know you all are all aware that we are improving this softball field as well, getting that up to looking really nice. We have a new sign on Highway 7 that we were able to purchase. Not that that was any of my idea, but I just wanted to throw it in as part of our facelift. On Wednesday, during our meetings, our early outs, we focused a lot on our mental health of our students and how our staff can help our students. COVID has presented some unique circumstances within our high school students that we have never encountered before as teachers, that we're having to learn how to walk through so we can get to the education part of the day. Ms. Todd has been a great resource for us. Our counselors, off-campus counselors have been good for our students. We do Thursday team meetings similar to what Jason and Debbie have done with all of our students, that we go through students that are doing great, that we have attendance issues, and we kind of make plans and who's calling the parents and who's talking to the kid, and you know, just different things that we can do to support our students so they can be successful. And I just want to end by saying I have the best staff here on campus. They work hard every single day and deal with a lot of different things that are getting thrown at them from our students and different activities that we have going on in the high school. We're very busy, but we have a great time. Oh, do y'all have any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Curtis. We'd like to thank all of the principals and Ms. Mitzi and everyone and the nurses who gave us some information tonight. If you're watching this online later and you have a need for your student, or if there's some sort of a need that we can meet for you as a family that would help you with the education of your kids, feel free to contact myself or contact any of the principals, and we would love to have your input. If there are no further questions, we will conclude our meeting. Thank you very much.